All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. Boaz here. Well, was out and about with the family, just having a good time and being a family man. And you know, uh, as we watch the current events in this country, whether it's uh, the presidential reality show, um, all the lies that's coming forth with that, uh, when we look at uh, the murders, the senseless murders that are taking place all across this land. I recently saw a video of a man, a business owner in Buckhead, Atlanta, and he was sitting in his car. He ran a successful business, and he was executed in his car by a bunch of thugs, a bunch of hooligans that just ran up on him and took his life. And this just goes to show over and over again because I want to review a couple of important points. And one critical aspect of this situation when it came to Sonya Massey that I didn't see anybody point out. Uh, and this is dealing with spiritual warfare. But, I just took a couple of notes because it's important to understand what's going on here. So, first and foremost, we have a single woman or a woman that was living by herself. And uh, there's a bump in the night. And the first thing she does is she calls a man. She calls the authorities to help her deal with this perceived threat or this fear. Now, this is why I'm the firm belief that our sisters should be covered. Our sisters should be protected because if she had a man there, now I know a lot of people they're going to disagree. They're going to come from the perspective of that everybody has a right to do whatever it is that they want to do, if they want to be single, so forth and so on, whatever it is. Hey, you have that right, but we all have to deal with the repercussions of these things. Now, whatever can happen, it can happen. But I think that this situation could have been alleviated if she had a good covering. But nonetheless, she didn't. So she called up someone else to do that for her, and that person, which is law enforcement, ended up killing her. Now, we've had wisdom come forth on this YouTube thing uh, for many, many years, for many, many people that is said, and we've seen time and time and time and time again. You dial 911, you liable to die, especially if you got this hue color skin. And this is why it's so important to uh, make sure that you're handling matters privately, that you have a household in order, so that you don't have to include family, police, because especially if they don't share your same morals and values. Because once you get entangled in this system, then they got you. They got you, and they can do what they will with you. But we have a situation where she dialed 911 and she paid the ultimate price for it. And these people, they're public servants. They're not there. Oh, that's what they claim. They're there as public servants. But we see them not acting in that fashion. We see them acting as goons for the bankers and for the politicians to keep you subjugated. Uh, so, unfortunately, this woman has lost her life. Uh, there's so many things that can be learned from this situation. Uh, and I hope we do learn. Uh, don't trust these people. Make sure that you know how to protect yourself. Make sure that you are exercising your uh, Second Amendment rights. From what I understand in St. Louis, where this happened, uh, you do have the right to own a firearm. Now, if this sister was proficient, she would be able to have protected herself. But neither, hey, it happened. Whatever happened, it happened. It was an unfortunate situation that happened. But the crux of it, and I'm going to get into it, um, uh, which nobody else seemed to point out, which is very interesting, and this is on the spiritual side of her invoking the name of Jesus, which I think it was a wise thing for her to do. Because at that point in time, she had no physical protection. She had no man that was covering her at that point in time. She was under the tyranny of local government, and her life was on the line. And so let's go ahead and let's look at the video first, because it's so important to look at this one critical aspect of what she did or what she said that nobody else is pointing out. But let's go ahead and let's play the tape. Very interesting, very nasty business. Very nasty business. But let's go ahead and play it.
Moment a sheriff's deputy shot and killed a woman who called 911 for help.
The deputy has been fired and is charged with murder. Reporter Angelica.
Execution. Cold-blooded murder. This is what we're dealing with.
Sanchez has the recording, and we want to warn you, what you're about to see is disturbing.
Authorities are releasing body camera footage showing the fatal police shooting of 36-year-old Sonya Massey inside her Springfield home. Famed civil rights attorney Ben Crump is representing her family.
Where is the humanity? Where is the training?
Police say Massey called police on July 6 over a suspected prowler in her neighborhood. When deputies arrived, they spoke with her. They asked for her identification. She then goes to move a pot of boiling water from her stove when she's heard saying, "I rebuke you, in the name of Jesus."
She must have realized that there was a dangerous situation that was developing. Now look at this guy, because I know she saw it too.
Where you going?
Away from your hot steaming water.
Away from my hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Better not.
Well, now look at that. This man has his hand on his firearm. Now, in any situation where you are in an interaction with law enforcement, let's use this as a learning example. There is no perceived threat outside of a pot of boiling water that this man could proceed. And then look at the distance. But one of the most important things that you need to learn about this situation right here is that he's escalated the situation. If men, woman, anybody, if you're pulled over by a police officer, right? You may even have a gun in the car. This man is in an elevated situation. Now, we understand about elevation. If someone is in a position where they're covering you, they're in an elevated state, there's no time for me to be in a situation as to where I can grab my firearm and deal with a situation where a police officer is standing over me with his hand on his firearm. She saw it. She must have saw it. Okay? So we're dealing with a situation where it's escalated. And this is why it's so important to understand how to be calm, rational, because see, hey, I could be out, my wife could be here, my children can be here, and my wife knows how to deal with these situations. See, this is why it's so important to understand how to be calm, how to be visible, and give these people no reason whatsoever. Me personally, and this is why I tell, my love, listen here. If you see a situation like this, don't move. Don't move. Ask them to tell them that I'm not moving. I'm not, because see, you have a situation now where this person is elevated. Oh, turn off the pot of what? No. Hey, they got their hand on their gun. That means that they're ready to pull the gun. Do not. See, these are great learning lessons right here. Do not move. Do not say, hey, there goes my identification, sir. Don't even ask to reach for it. There goes my identification, because you can clearly discern that this person is unhinged. Why is it that this person has their hand on their gun in the first place? We have to think logically here.
Sorry, I'll shoot you right in your face.
Sangamon deputy Sean Grayson pulls out his gun as she apologizes and ducks.
Right there. Right there. She rebukes him in the name of Jesus twice. And then what does she does after that, after he pulls the gun? She apologizes, thereby rescinding what she said. Why would you apologize for rebuking him in the name of Jesus? She took back her words. She took back her statements. It reminds me of Psalms. Though do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. See, you got to understand that she must have understood the Spirit was on her to, hey, something's about to go down. And see, sometimes all you have is that spiritual power. All you have is the invoking of the name of Jesus. She turned around and then she apologized, thereby taking those words back. You got to stand on business, even regardless of what's going on with these kind of situations. That's all the power she had. That's all the authority that she had. Because clearly this man is demonic. And turned around and shot her, executed her like she was a dog.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the pot. Drop the pot.
We are pausing the video as Deputy Grayson then fires his gun 3 times. He later indicates he shot her in the head.
We got a headshot wound to the female. Headshot wound to the female.
Last week, authorities fired Deputy Grayson and charged him with murder. Within an hour of the video's release, the White House and state leaders released statements. President Joe Biden is praising the speed of the investigation while offering his condolences. Sonya's family deserves justice. I am heartbroken for her children and her entire family as they face this unthinkable and senseless.
So she was a single mother as well. Doesn't seem like she was married. Any man was in the house.
Loss. Jill and I mourn with the rest of the country, and our prayers are with Sonya's family, loved ones, and community during this devastating time. The Illinois Attorney General says, the body camera footage is horrific, and I offer my deepest sympathy to Sonya Massey's family as they relive a moment no family should experience. As the community reacts to the release of the footage, I urge calm as this matter works its way through the criminal justice system.
Sangamon County authorities.
It's pretty sad. It really is sad to see these kind of situations develop. But we see it happening all the time. You know, I was watching in New York City. They're going up randomly on people that is eating dinner or lunch outside in New York City. They're going up randomly, just robbing them at gunpoint. They're randomly going in the stores and robbing, and the cops are, they do. See, we're going into a state of complete chaos and lawlessness, where people have no regard whatsoever for the lives, the safety, the love of many is just truly waxing cold. And this is why I say all the time, get out the city. Let's get back into biblical order, because regardless of what, we never know the day or the hour that evil may come our way. But we can mitigate and put ourselves in situations where we don't open ourselves up to this kind of situation, or we can eliminate as many possibilities that Satan is put in a situation to attack us. It's a beautiful thing about this kind of situation. When you're living on a piece of property, unless the cops, the law enforcement got a search warrant, my gate is always closed. There is no way that they could just come in without a search warrant, without calling me. The local law enforcement, if that gate is open, gate is closed, which it is all the time, they got to call me. They gotta physically call the phone to say, may we come in? Even if there's an incident where there's a call, unless they have a search warrant. See, all of these things are buffers to ensure that you have as much lead time to make sure that your hands are up. All of this stuff is so critical. But I understand why she rescinded invoking the name of Jesus. She apologized. It's on the tape. Stand on business. If that's the last thing that you're going to be dealing with, stand on business. Don't be rescinding nothing, because that's the only spiritual power she had.